Welcome to the show. I'm Rick. Today, this is a very quick video to answer a couple of questions which I keep getting asked, and one of them came in from a guy called Red Snapper. He says, Red Snapper commented, Rick, a question. I've been meaning to ask since I subbed your channel, why or what do you keep glancing left at on your vids? To answer that question, I'm going to move that camera so you can see what I glance at over here, and I'll put the camera back and I'll explain why. So let's take this one. There. What do you see? You see a monitor. Up there is another camera and a light. There's nothing else at this side of the room. There's no one here. This is how small this place is. So there's a light up there shining down here, and we're using the light from the window behind. This is a Sony camera with microphone on top. This is a lead which comes into this monitor. So when I glance left to this monitor. And as you can see just then, this is why I glanced left, because if I put my hand in front here with these Sony cameras, it's set to autofocus, and it's autofocus on my hand, and now that monitor is blurred. But if I move my hand, that monitor is now sharp. And that's the problem. Let me put this camera back. So basically that is the problem we have. That camera is set to autofocus like this camera is. This camera should focus on my face, keep me nice and sharp. Now, it doesn't always happen. I realize that, but by using two cameras, if this one's not sharp, I can cut to the film on that camera, and then it's more continual through the video. Now, and obviously people don't want to see me talking all the time, and they don't want to watch a curry cooking for 20 minutes. What is the point of watching a pan boiling away with the curry in? It's pointless. Okay, so that is what I'm looking at on there, Mr. Red Snapper. I'm looking at a monitor. Now, like I say, that camera's set to auto up there at the moment. So anything I film down here at the moment, and it is filming sharp. Now when I'm cooking, I set that camera to manual. Now I set it to manual because, as I've just demonstrated with that camera, when I'm cooking with the pan, as soon as anything crosses the pan, it's out of focus. It focuses on whatever comes in front of it. So what I do, I manually focus to the bottom of the pan. So if I put that there, as you can see, that is manually focused. Now what I tend to do, I tend to take a spoon and I put the spoon in the pan, obviously on the little cooker. Now, what I try and gauge for, the spoon end, which sticks up. Because when you start cooking in there, it doesn't matter, whatever's in the bottom will be roughly in focus, but then as you start to put curry in, obviously it comes up in the pan. When it comes up in the pan, it can go out of focus. So I keep glancing left to make sure that that is in focus, because there's nothing worse, and I've done it many times, and I'm having to get down here, look. I've done it many times when I've been filming and I've come to edit and the actual ingredients in the pan have been blurred. So that's what I do. I put a spoon in, and if I just send that out of focus, I then refocus my camera somewhere about there, so that that's sharp in there, and then you get sharp shot on the food. So that is on autofocus up there now, so whatever I put in there it will focus on. Now the problem is, as I've explained, that if I do anything in there, as you can see, if I cross that focal point, my hand is in focus and all that contents in there is blurred. So this is why I glance over there, make sure that the cooking is absolutely sharp. Now I do get it wrong sometimes because I cook. Okay, so pans. While we're talking pans, while I've got a pan here, this pan is a non-stick wok type pan. Okay, everybody bleats on about, oh, you can only cook a curry in an aluminium pan. Now I've cooked curries for 40 years in the restaurants and takeaways. We always use aluminium pans. The reason for aluminium pans, they're so cheap, they're imported in, they're cheap to buy in, they're cheap to use, they conduct a reasonable amount of heat. But you know, it's a myth. And everybody's going to jump on my back now, but you can jump on my back. An aluminium pan conducts heat, fantastic, of course it does. But it's not the be all and end all of cooking a curry. You can cook a great curry in a stainless steel pan, a non-stick pan, anything. It's how you cook the curry, how you bloom the spices, how you cook it down properly. It's not about the pan. It's a load of cobblers. Now in a takeaway, and you've seen it all, you've seen the hundreds and thousands of videos all over the place. When you cook a curry in a takeaway or anywhere, you heat up the pan, heat up the oil, turn the heat down, put your spices in, don't burn them. They whack the heat up because they've got to cook down the curry base. It's water. It's the only way they can cook it down is by turning it up. If not, you're waiting for your curry for about 50 minutes. That is it in a nutshell. Job finished. Now, when you're cooking at home, if you've got a lid and you don't want it to go all over the place, put the lid on. You know, I have to clean up all the time in here because I don't cook with a lid because of the video and the cameras and everything. You know, if I put a lid on and everything's going on in there and it's steamed up and everything, you can't see what's going on in the pan. But sometimes when I'm cooking, I do have to put a lid on because it's going everywhere. Okay, lids. Let's just put that in there. Let's grab this. Okay, cookers. Everybody says high flame, high burners, high this. What's this? It's a portable camping stove, if you like. You know, and I cook all my curries on my videos on this. It's as simple as that. I cook on this. Okay? It's no gas supply coming in here, nothing. It's a gas canister. That is what it is. It's a gas butane canister. And all you do, you take the cap off there, you lift that up, put that in there. It has a notch there, look. If you can see that on there somehow. Has a notch there which fits this little clip here. So what you do, you put that in there, put that down so it's inside that notch, and then when you pull the lever down, the cylinder is pushed into the gas regulator. Okay, so you push that down, there's a spring there, it pushes it into the regulator. Just put that down and then we can turn it on, and there's your flame, and you just turn it down whatever. And that is what I cook on these videos. Simple as that. When you finish cooking, lift up the catch. That releases the gas cylinder, so the gas is not coming out inside there. Finished. So that is it. I cook on one of these. And what you don't see is I cook in shorts every day and t-shirts, and I'm covered in sweat, which you do see actually. But do you know why? It's 39 degrees outside today. Cooking in here is another couple of degrees on top. It's about 41. It's as simple as that. So it's 39 degrees out there. It's about 41 degrees in here. You've got light up there. You've got the heat coming out. So I'm covered in sweat. I wear shorts. So sometimes you might get a glimpse of the old leg. Microphones. I got asked the other day about microphones. These are the microphones I used to use all the time religiously when I first started. Saramonic microphones. You have a transmitter and a receiver. They're absolutely superb. Without a shadow of a doubt, they're superb. The problem is sometimes that if you've not charged the battery or something and you've got the receiver connected to the camera with your lead in there and the battery goes out, you have no sound. Because what happens with these cameras, once they start recording to the transmitter, they don't record sound on the camera. They record through the transmitter. If the transmitter goes off because there's no battery, you have no sound. Now, I've had a heck of a job trying to sort sound out and all the rest of it, and the sound's been recorded in mono and there's no sound and it's hollow and everything else. What I've done, I'm wearing one here, look. What I've done, and there's one there, I've changed to the Rode wireless mic system. Now sometimes there is a sound issue if I forget to charge them, and sometimes I do forget to charge, to be quite honest. I'm that busy. But I've changed to the Rode wireless setup because on the Rode wireless system you can set the setting inside to always record. So if that receiver on that camera up there stops recording, this will record for 7 hours. So you still have the recording saved and safe on this transmitter. So I've set it to always record. So I always don't cover it up. I always have a recording. So, and then what you do when you go to your editing software, which I'll show you in a minute, I'm using Davinci Resolve. What you do with your editing software, when you put the film in, which has recorded the sound, you then can match up the sound with this. So you can put both sound together, look at the sound, and if you don't like one, you can use the other. It's as simple as that. But these always record. So I hope that helps somebody with the microphones that I use. Okay, and then comes the ingredients. How many? How many ingredients do you need? You know, you need all the ingredients that you're going to cook with. And there's a huge array of everything in here, from bay leaf to cinnamon, cloves, cumin seeds, whatever, you know. There's a whole array, and there's even packets, garam masala, boxes of chunky chaat masala there, tandoori masala. What I use pretty regular, I use amchur powder, mango powder. I use it all the time. So it's a fantastic souring element for any curry. So, you know, you've got your ingredients. Where do you stop when you start making curries? You can't stop. If you're making curries and you make one type of curry, you only need one set of ingredients. If, like me, you're making the videos, you need a whole array of ingredients and then some. And the and the Ansem is basically, I make my own pastes, I make my own mixed powders, everything, because you cannot buy here in Thailand. I live in Thailand, I've lived in Asia for 20 years. However, Thailand is so close to India and everywhere else, but the spices are not available like they are in the UK. The UK, they've all been made there with the Asian community that live there. So you can walk into an Asian supermarket and get any Eastern curry powder or anything like that. Or you can buy offline. You know, you can go to like Al's Kitchen now, you know. And Al's a great guy. You can go to Al's Kitchen, you can buy any of his spices and masalas on there. You know, it's already available. It ain't available out here in Thailand. So you have to get your spices. And there is a heck of a lot of spices that you've got to buy from here, there and everywhere. And you know, chili powder is ready available because it's a chili powder country. You know, we've got cumin powder. You know, what's this? It's a 200-gram bag, you know. And we go right through to ketchups at a kilo. You know, and obviously what you all know over there, you've got your dals and things that you can get here. Ingredients, masses of ingredients, because you can't buy them mixed and everything out there. And because they are like specialized ingredients for this country, you cannot get the small packs. You know, we're on kasuri methi as big as that, you know, which is all right if you run a takeaway or you're making curries on video. But if you're actually buying that for home use and you only made a curry once a month, that is going to last you 2 years, you know. So let's just move these. Okay, and a perfect example of making ingredients. You know, you can buy the world famous mint sauce from Norwich in the UK. Unfortunately, here in Thailand, it's now not available where I am. And you can hardly find it online. So I make all my own ingredients. And for anybody that can't get this stuff, there's a link in the description or on the videos to make it. That is a perfect copy of the famous mint sauce. There you go. That is amazing. Okay, so that's a perfect example for making your own ingredients. A question I always get asked, knives for cutting. Let's just zoom in on this. See, this is the thing when you're making the videos, you've always got to walk around there and zoom in and out if you're using autofocus. That is another reason for manual, and then you've got to keep checking it to make sure that that's in frame. Knives. Now for knives, everybody wants to buy the most fantastic samurai sword made blade knife ever. You know, and all the people that used to come into my restaurant used to come in with a rolled up thing full of knives and bits and pieces, you know. And then they used to go cut onions. There's absolutely no point, right? This is one of my favorite knives, okay? And it is basically, I mean, it's an old thing, but it's rounded off at the end, which I like because I'm always clipping myself. I mean, it's as sharp as heck, don't get me wrong. But I'm always clipping myself. So it's as sharp as heck, but it's like a Chinese cleaver, but smaller. It fits in my hand absolutely fantastic. It's fantastic for chopping or like your coriander or anything like that. It's superb. It's not expensive, it's as cheap as chips. Onions. It's great when the wife surprises the husband with a fantastic knife with all the bits and pieces in the blade, and it's some really posh name. I can't do the names on here obviously for advertising, but you know, you get these really posh bladed knives. The trouble is the knives are a thick blade. They're a really thick blade. The best knife for cutting onions, if you cut in bulk anywhere, is a thin bladed knife. The thick bladed knife, it doesn't matter how you cut the onions stick to the blade. This is a really cheap, and you can see it's been, oops. See, this is why I look up there. It's been sharpened so much that you can see it's curved, it's not straight anymore. Okay, but this is a perfect example. You take your onion and you want to cut your onion. Okay, so you get your onion and then you just go. Ready? Onion sliced. Okay, beautifully. All through, lovely, 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 lovely thin slices. You take a thick bladed knife, it sticks to the blade and forces itself all the time. You still get the same result, so why spend all the money on a super duper thick bladed Japanese pressed super steel knife when you can buy a stainless steel cheap knife and do exactly the same job? Noise. Another thing we make in the videos here, okay, and I'll grab that camera to show you. Out here in Asia we have water pumps. You turn on your water and it's not quiet. There's pumps everywhere on every house. You know, you hear washing machines, everything, because everything's outside. Unfortunately, filming in here, there's a window. The window's open because it's 39 degrees outside. We need a flow of air, but you can hear the water pumps outside. You can hear the washing machine. You can hear people talking all around. So filming here is a little bit of a nightmare and a bit of a challenge. Cooking the curry is easy. Putting up with all of this, there's the challenge. And I'll just grab that camera. I know it's on a tripod, but I'll grab the camera. The pumps. And these are the water pumps, like this, whether it be Hitachi. There you go. Water pumps running. That is a curry leaf tree growing in a pot. And then for editing curries, for editing my videos, I use a program called Davinci Resolve. There we go. Okay, enough waffling. I'll edit this, shove it up there. You can all look at it. You can all say, wow, blooming heck, you know. It's not the same as working in a restaurant, working in this little cube. And all the pitfalls and hazards of noise and everything else, the temperature, getting the ingredients, everything. It's a little bit of a challenge, this one. So I hope you've enjoyed this little bit of a answer the questions and an insight to what's going on. If you have, don't forget, it'll be an absolutely superb job if you would like and subscribe. You know, we want to get the like and subscribe up, hit the old thumbs up, whatever. We need to get the algorithm up on YouTube. We need to let YouTube know that we're actually here, which is a hard slog. So until next time when we make a curry, take care.